Hi everyone. I'm doing this a little differently than I normally do. I normally make one video for each of you, and this time I'm going to make one video for all of you and cover some essential details, and then I'll provide you feedback individually. So the first thing I want to say to you is these were great. You guys nailed this as far as I felt like I was sitting right there as a teacher and you were telling me exactly what you were going to do. And so I'm listening to you as if I'm the teacher that's being disciplined. One of the things I would say to you is never do this alone. This is a pretty serious offense. And I know one of you, it was cute. One of you said that the teacher had confessed, and that was great because that makes it a whole lot easier. But never ever do this alone. Even if you pull somebody in from your school to set as a witness. You do not want to do this by yourself because it's your word against that person's. Or if you're going to do it alone, videotape it and tell the person that you want to videotape it and that they can have access to the video. It's for both of you. Now, most attorneys will tell you never to videotape it because you give the other side the ability to pick apart everything you say. So if you can just bring a witness in, somebody that is reliable, that could prove pretty substantial on a witness stand if it's necessary, or even if your district superintendent wants to ask some questions, that person can be there to support what you say because it will be your word against that person's. Never do it alone. A lot of you said, I'm sitting here with the district office. Some of you said, you're going to be going to the district office and they're going to meet with you and talk to you about things. The other thing I would say is think of this as two-part, and at least one of you did do this. The first part is that the school has some jurisdiction and ability to reprimand this teacher, such as in the case that you put the teacher on administrative leave. But when it comes to criminal offense, that's decided outside of the school district. I think one of you said something about filing charges, and the school district really can't file charges. You turn it over to the prosecuting attorney's office, they can file charges. They have to do their own investigation, or they'll look at your investigation and see what's missing. The investigation that you often do as a school principal is going to be different than criminal law does. So be prepared that your information, while necessary and could be substantial, is not going to be the tell-all. So keep in mind that this is two parts. I think one of you did explain to the person, you explained to the teacher and you said, I don't know if the parents are going to file charges. If they do, that really has nothing to do with us. And we really aren't involved in that. We can only take care of what our policy speaks to and the actions that are necessary for a school district. The other thing I would say to you is, I love that one of you at the very end said, do you have any questions? You should always ask that. You can also ask it at the beginning. Do you have any questions? I want to talk to you. Some of you were very polite and very nurturing and listen, here's the deal. We'll try to walk you through this, make sure you understand it. Some of you were very firm, like, okay, this is how it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. If this is the first time, if this teacher's been there for a while, and it's the first time it's ever occurred, you can be a little more nurturing because it could just be something out of character, something weird that happened. And part of that will come in your investigation. Most of you spoke to investigating it, and then you were reporting out, so that was good. Let me see what else notes. Suspension. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you as a superintendent, I don't care how guilty a person looked. I never suspended a person without pay. And let me tell you why this is a bad practice. Of course, you got to do what your superintendent tells you to do in your central office. I, as a superintendent, never suspended someone without pay because if 1 year from now, you find out that they rule against you and you've lost this, you got to pay all that interest back. It could cost you threefold. So I always treat people as if they're innocent. And I suspend with pay unless there's only one time I can think that I suspended two people without pay, and they were caught on the bus tape. It was one of your videos. It's one of the videos in 512. They were caught having an affair on the bus tape, and I had physical evidence of their affair. And I really couldn't do anything to them because it was on their lunchtime and it was while on school property. It wasn't on where kids could see them. So the attorneys basically said there's really nothing you could do. But I basically said to them, I didn't tell them that. I kind of called their bluff and basically said, if you'll agree to 2 days with no pay suspension and you'll sign off on that, we'll do that and it'll be over. And they did. And so by them agreeing to it, they lost 2 days pay, but they really could have fought me on that if they wanted to. So be really, really careful. The first thing, and most of you said this, was you just called you had a protocol in place and you called and reported it. And that's probably the smartest thing to do. I love that those of you that got the person immediately off the school property, and that really is a smart thing to do. What if you told the person to turn over their keys to the building and then go out in the parking lot, get in their car and drive over to the board office? My thinking was, well, what if they don't drive to the board office? They could drive anywhere. Then what are you going to do? So one of you had a policeman, I think, an officer, and you had him escort the person off the premises, which for a first offense, can be good. You really have to think about, you have to go back to your policy and it usually will say first offense, second offense, but abusing a child or doing something to a child, I mean, really, you do have to take a very firm stand. I thought you guys did a great job. I honestly felt that I was sitting right there with you. I think I had one intern that just told me what they would do and didn't actually create the scenario, so you might want to redo that. But again, I'll give you individual feedback. I thought you guys did a great job. And thanks a lot for this. This was fun. It was fun watching it. And I think most of you reported it was challenging and you enjoyed it. So you've got a couple others that I think will be fun too. But anyway, thanks. Bye.